Now, let's talk sports news. And England's FIFA World Cup campaign opened in thoroughly convincing fashion as they outclassed Iran during an incident-packed match in Doha. Gareth Southgate's side strolled to a 6-2 victory. Jude Bellingham scored the opener before goals from Bukayo Saka and Raheem Sterling secured Gareth Southgate's men a 3-0 lead at half-time. Iran supporters were given a moment of real delight when Mehdi Taremi scored a fine goal after 65 minutes, but it only produced a ruthless response from England as Saka scored his second and substitute Marcus Rashford scored with his first involvement. Well, for this match and what else is coming up at Qatar 2022, let's speak to Arise sports correspondent Aaron Akerejola, who joins us live from Doha. Good to see you, Aaron. Just getting an update here that Netherlands versus Senegal. Netherlands leading by 1 goal, less than 5 minutes to go. It could not have gone any better for England. I mean, how impressed were you by their performance? Yeah, can you hear me, Aaron? This is Charles in London. Well, that's quite sad, actually, but hopefully we'll try and get back to him in a minute. But as I said, in that crucial game, Netherlands versus Senegal, Netherlands leading by 1 goal. I understand there's less than 4 minutes to go before the end of real time. And obviously a lot of people in Africa rooting for Senegal, so it'll be a monstrous disappointment if they open at a loss. But of course Netherlands are quite formidable team, so we're going to have to see what happens as that game comes to an end. But broadly speaking, of course, beyond that game I was talking about and beyond England, which we're hoping that Aaron will tell us about in entertaining style, as he always does. After the opening night spectacle, we had the opening game, and as we know, that didn't quite go well for the Qataris. The way they had hoped. It was a tough evening for them, of course, being the hosts, but that's the way it went. But I'm told now that Aaron Akerejola, who knows a lot more about sports than I do, is now on the line with us from Doha. I hope you can hear me, Aaron. It could not have gone any better for England. How impressed were you by their performance?
I must actually say quite impressed, understanding that they were coming into this particular fixture on the back of 6 losses, and as it stands right now, they can actually say they've been able to get the monkey off their back. They've been able to break that particular jinx, because in the 7th time of action, in the most important outing, they were able to do one thing: deliver. And 6 goals to the good. Having people like Jack Grealish score a goal, Marcus Rashford coming in from the bench in 2 minutes, find the back of the net, would excite Gareth Southgate, although he said after the match that he wasn't entirely impressed with the performance of the 3 Lions of England, understanding that they were able to still ship in 2 goals. So the fact that clean sheet was elusive meant that he wasn't entirely happy. But I must say, the likes of Bukayo Saka getting a brace for himself, Jude Bellingham, young stars, and of course Bellingham making his debut at the World Cup, getting a goal for himself, just typified the English side. They were full of energy, they were full of verve, and I must actually say the 3 Lions are good for the money. 6 goals is no joke at all at the World Cup.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure England fans are absolutely delighted by that performance. But of course, the other team that coming out of Africa, a lot of people are supporting is Senegal. They've been in action against the Netherlands. I mean, that game should be coming to an end now. And about 5 minutes ago, we heard that Netherlands were leading by 1 goal. What are you hearing about that game?
Yeah, it had been a tight game, but I must tell you, Charles, the Dutch were going into this game without another key player for themselves, just like the Teranga Lions and Senegals also were missing a key player in the person of Sadio Mane. They also were missing Memphis Depay, who has been ruled out of this particular game, no thanks to an injury. So they were going in a little bit light, but at the end of the day, late in the game, Gakpo was able to finally unlock the Senegalese defense, and at the moment they might just be coasting into that particular Group A with 3 points, and they might be second on the group because Ecuador actually won with 2-0 against the host Qatar in the first round of fixtures. But you look at that and you say to yourself that that will be a very tight group, that will be a keenly contested group, and at the moment I hoped that Senegal will rise to the occasion, but the Dutch seem to have more than enough within their tank to see this one off and probably start it off on a very good note.
And of course, Aaron, we know that the hosts, Qatar, were also in action. After the opening night spectacle, they had their opening game, and that didn't quite go the way they'd hoped, did it? Tough evening for them.
Charles, before I actually get there, let me just actually quickly correct this. Of course, Memphis Depay actually came in the second half. He wasn't fit enough to start the game, but came in the second half to try to help the Orange, as they are popularly called, to a massive victory in their opener. But talking about Qatar and their opener, the truth is this. They were going against a bigger nation than them. They were going against a tougher nation than them. And a draw would have meant a lot to the host, talking about Qatar, and a win would have been seeing Qatar in fairy tale land. So losing to Ecuador wasn't a big deal. Qatar is not a footballing nation. It's not a big footballing nation, and certainly the fans are just happy to have the World Cup being hosted in their homeland as against seeing their team do so well. We expected maybe the scoreline to be probably 1-0, understanding that Carlos Queiroz will always favors a defensive outplay more than any other thing. But nevertheless, some will even say the reason why Ecuador didn't even put more past them was because of Carlos Queiroz's style of play and always thinking defensive.
I want to thank you very much indeed, and I apologize for the interruptions, the breaks we had there. But of course, Aaron, very much across what is happening in Doha there, where the World Cup is taking place. And you can watch Aaron all through this World Cup here on Arise News, bringing us up to date and keeping us posted with all the excitement and all the developments taking place there. Aaron Akerijola is Arise Sports correspondent, and he's live there from Doha.